which leads to, that, if a pastor goes wrong in one area, his whole entire congregation, his entire following will follow him and fall into error, even if it's well-intentioned and all that. And so I wrote about how we don't need to find our identity in a pastor, but in the Bible, in our worldview, in our belief system. Follow that. Don't follow a person, because they're going to fail you at some point. Well, so that was within the evangelical world, but then I saw a lot of the same tactics, going into play in the political world, in culture, in society as well. And so I started, getting curious about this. I'm like, so why does this tactic keep coming up over and over and over again? So I dive into it from a biblical standpoint, diving into the theology. The Apostle Paul condemned this kind of mentality repeatedly in Scripture. But then also I started diving into the cults, things like Scientology, things like Jim Jones and Charles Manson and all of that. And it's really interesting because they all, when you actually dive into it, a lot of them have very close ties with intelligence agencies. And you're just like, okay, something's going on here. And so then my theory that I explore and I'm kind of fleshing out in the book is, were these cults, that had direct ties with a lot of intelligence agencies, were they actually testing grounds for a lot of these kind of manipulations and propaganda and mind control and, these kind of cult mentalities and stuff